think when I say crazy things like fighting Canelo or Bud or Joshua. So I think he was actually surprised to get the deal done.
Good push off. Fake, back fake.
He showed you every punch he had in 5 seconds, nothing else.
Little Joshua, I'm coming, little Josh.
I mean, this is partially too late to tell you, but your ability to move on the outside is going to be a major help to you in this fight. Your ability to move on the outside, okay? You can.
Okay, folks, buckle up, because Netflix has just given us the countdown of the century. Jake Paul's final day of training camp before his Anthony Joshua fight. And let me tell you, this is not the calm before the storm. This is the moment where a YouTube kid turned boxer is about to step into the ring with one of the hardest hitting legends in the game. The tension? Electric. The stakes? Unthinkable. And you better believe every eye in the boxing world is locked on Jake Paul, waiting for him to either shock us all or get knocked out cold in front of a Netflix audience that's eating this up like popcorn at a horror movie. Is Jake Paul ready to go from internet troll to the real deal? Or is this about to be a one-hit wonder that's going to make Logan's disaster against Mayweather look like a snooze fest? Trust me, what happens in this countdown will literally change the course of influencer boxing forever. So, get ready, because what you're about to see isn't just Jake Paul training for a fight. This is going to be a Netflix exclusive like no other. The world is watching. The clock is ticking. And Jake Paul, well, he's either going to win the biggest upset of his career or get absolutely obliterated. This is not your average training montage. Forget what you've seen in the movies. Forget the motivational speeches, the grueling gym sessions, and the slick punches thrown in slow motion. No, Jake Paul's final day of training camp before his fight with Anthony Joshua is something way more intense. It's a media circus. It's a spectacle. It's Netflix's chance to make us all think Jake Paul is the next Mike Tyson. It's a countdown to pure chaos. Jake Paul, a man who gained fame on YouTube for pranking people and running his mouth, is now staring down the barrel of a literal beast. Anthony Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion of the world, has an entire legacy to defend. And in comes Jake Paul, looking like the cocky underdog from an action movie. Except this isn't a script. This is real. Well, sort of. It's reality TV, boxing drama, and sports spectacle all rolled into one ridiculous bundle. And as the clock ticks down to the big fight, one question has been echoing in every single person's mind. Can Jake Paul actually do this? Let's be real. When Jake Paul first made the jump from social media to the boxing ring, the world collectively rolled its eyes. The guy had no amateur boxing experience. Hell, he didn't even have a legit fighting background. He was just some internet kid with a lot of money and a mouth that wouldn't quit. And yet, somehow, he pulled off one of the most shocking things to ever happen in the sports world. He won his first fight. Easy. He took out an ex-NBA player, Nate Robinson, in one of the most embarrassing knockouts we've ever seen. Jake Paul looked like he was stepping into the ring with someone who didn't even know how to throw a punch. But even in that moment, some people were still skeptical. Oh, it was just a fluke. Nate Robinson wasn't trained. It was just a circus. Yeah, sure. Keep telling yourselves that dud. Then Jake Paul did what any self-proclaimed genius would do. He went on to fight another former athlete, Ben Askren, a retired MMA fighter with a questionable striking ability. Now, when I say questionable, I mean terrible. So, when Jake knocked him out in the first round, it wasn't a surprise. But it still made the world stop and whisper, what if he's actually good? But hold up, that's where the narrative really starts to flip. Because in the back of everyone's mind, there's still this one lingering thought. But can he handle the real deal? Enter Anthony Joshua, a champion with power, speed, and experience that Jake Paul couldn't even dream of. This is a man who's been through wars in the heavyweight division, knocking out world-class fighters left and right. He's taken punches from real boxers. His resume includes victories over names like Wladimir Klitschko and Andy Ruiz Jr. So when Jake Paul announces that he's stepping into the ring with Joshua, everyone started laughing, but in the back of their heads, there's this one question. Is it possible that Jake Paul could actually pull this off? This is the story Netflix wants. This is the ultimate David versus Goliath narrative. The big money fight. The young YouTube sensation who somehow turned himself into a serious boxer, ready to face off with one of the best in the world. But here's the thing. It's not just about the fight. It's about everything that's come with it. Jake Paul has made this whole journey about him. He's not just a boxer. He's the boxer. The one everyone loves to hate. The one who talks trash. The one who sells tickets. The one who gets eyeballs on every move he makes. He's not a quiet, humble fighter. He's the opposite. And that's part of the charm. That's the game he's been playing. The trash talking, the stunts, the internet personality, it's all been building up to this moment. The moment where all the cameras are on him, the lights are brightest. And the stakes have never been higher. Jake Paul is the villain. He's the guy who doesn't know his place in the boxing world but wants to take it all. He's the hero. As much as people like to hate on him, let's be honest, there's a reason he's getting all this attention. He's fighting for his legacy. He's fighting to prove that the kid who used to prank his brother on YouTube and start pointless Twitter beefs could go toe-to-toe with one of the greatest of this generation. He's fighting to silence the haters who say he's nothing but a social media joke, and the countdown to the fight. Well, it's just as crazy as you'd expect. We're talking about the final day of training camp, the day where Jake Paul's coaches, trainers, and team have put in all their work to make sure the internet sensation is ready for a fight that could break him. This is the day where everything is on the line. This is the day where he either proves that he belongs or gets absolutely humiliated in front of a global audience. So what's Jake doing to get ready? Is he preparing like a true boxer? Training hard every single day? Taking his body to the next level? Or is this all for show? Netflix's cameras are following every move, and trust me, it's not just the punches that are being thrown. Jake is selling the story, building the hype, and soaking up the limelight in a way only he knows how. Every single moment of this training camp has been designed to make him look like the underdog hero who just might pull it off. You can see him on Instagram, flexing his muscles, talking about his intense training, showing off his skills in the gym. But behind the camera, there are whispers. Whispers about the true nature of this fight. Is it just about the cash grab? Is Jake Paul really as serious as he says? Or is this all another publicity stunt to keep the attention flowing? And the suspense only builds from here. The final day of training camp is like the closing moments of an epic thriller. The clock is ticking, and the moment everyone's been waiting for is drawing nearer. Is Jake Paul ready for the fight of his life? Or is this going to be the end of his undefeated streak, with Anthony Joshua sending him back to the YouTube world with his tail between his legs? The final day of training camp is where it all goes from training montages to full-blown spectacle. As the clock ticks down to the fight, Jake Paul is no longer just a YouTuber trying to make a name for himself in the boxing ring. He's now the main event, the sideshow, and the biggest controversy in combat sports. His name is plastered on every headline, every tweet, every Instagram story, and not just because of his fights, but because of the insane buildup and wild speculation surrounding the fight with Anthony Joshua. let's talk about the build-up. Jake Paul has never been one to shy away from drama, and this final day of training camp, well, it's no different. Think about it. The man has spent years on social media building his brand as the ultimate villain. He's not just the underdog here. He's the villain who gets all the attention, all the hype, and all the hate. And when the haters come, so does the crowd. Everyone loves to watch someone who's cocky, loud. Netflix has turned it into a documentary event. It's like The Last Dance, but with a boxer who's trying to prove he's not just a meme. The cameras are everywhere, following Jake Paul's every move, capturing the sweat, the pain, and the trash talk. And don't get me wrong, you know Jake Paul loves every second of it. This isn't just a fight for him. This is a show, a performance, and he's playing to the cameras like a seasoned pro. Every workout, every punch, every throwaway comment is now grist for the hype mill. And it's all calculated. You think Jake doesn't know how to play the game? He's already turned this fight into a spectacle, blending professional boxing with his social media persona. Each post, each flex, each Instagram story is designed to make us question, is Jake Paul really ready? Or is this just one big publicity stunt? And as much as fans love to hate him, in fact, I'd argue Jake Paul's training camp and the drama surrounding it. It's more exciting than the build-up to most of today's heavyweight title fights. Sure, Joshua is an actual certified boxing champion, but Jake Paul? He's turned the art of self-promotion into a career. And in a world where virality is currency, maybe that's all that really matters. So here's where it gets juicy. The memes. The internet, of course, has been in overdrive making fun of Jake Paul's every move. Or is it the next celebrity boxing showdown? Another meme, a parody of the Rocky poster, showed Jake Paul in the ring with Joshua. Captioned, "When your trainer says you're ready, but you've only been hitting the bag for a month." You know what? The internet is a savage place, but that's part of the magic. Because while people mock Jake Paul, guess who's still getting the spotlight? That's right, Jake Paul. Everyone is talking about him. Whether they're cheering him on, booing him from the sidelines, or getting a laugh out of him getting knocked out by Joshua, it's all noise. And noise means views. Noise means cash. Noise means viral content. And let's be honest, we're all tuning in. You know it. Even the biggest critics of Jake Paul can't resist. It's like when you hear about a train wreck and you can't look away. Is Jake Paul going to pull off the impossible upset, or will he be completely obliterated by one of the hardest punchers in boxing today? The uncertainty makes the anticipation almost unbearable. Fans can't decide whether they want to see Jake Paul get humbled, or whether they want to see him achieve the impossible and take down a true heavyweight champion. And the celebrity reactions, they're off the charts. Some are all in on Jake Paul's rise, hyping him up like the underdog of a sports drama. Others, especially those from the more traditional boxing world, can't stop rolling their eyes at what they see as a glorified circus act. Former boxers, trainers, and analysts have weighed in, and you can already guess the sentiment. Jake Paul is a joke. He doesn't belong in the ring with Anthony Joshua. This is a mismatch. And then, on the other hand, you have people saying, well, if you can win, you can win. And Jake's clearly been putting in work. It might just surprise us. Now, let's talk about the real kicker here, the mental game. Jake Paul has built his entire brand around being the bad guy. He's the villain, the cocky internet personality, and the one who thrives on attention. But here's the thing, he's not stupid. Behind the brash persona, Jake has a team of top-tier trainers, and he's been putting in the work. Yes, we know about the workouts that may or may not involve a ton of hype for the cameras. But I'm telling you, Jake Paul isn't just showing up to make a paycheck. He's showing up to prove something. He's showing up to prove that everything he's been saying about being a boxer isn't just talk. He's betting his entire persona on winning this fight. And I'm not saying Jake Paul is going to walk out there and knock out Anthony Joshua in the first round, because lol, that would be a stretch, but I'm not counting him out either. This is a fight that could end in any way, and that's what makes this all so deliciously unpredictable. Jake Paul could lose. That's a very real possibility. But if he wins, oh boy. If Jake Paul pulls off a miracle and beats Anthony Joshua, the entire landscape of boxing will be flipped upside down. He'll have earned every single ounce of respect in the world from the boxing community. And you can bet that he'll be riding that wave of glory until the day he hangs up his gloves. But here's where it gets even wilder. The entire spectacle is designed for one thing: drama. From the Netflix cameras capturing every training session to the insane press conferences. Jake Paul's fight with Anthony Joshua has been a media event first and a fight second. And that's the world we live in now. This is the new era of boxing, where the lines between reality TV and sports blur, and the audience becomes just as important as the fighters. Because let's face it, the story is half the battle. If Jake Paul can survive the media circus and pull out a victory, we'll all be left asking, what's next for Jake Paul? The possibilities are endless. All right, the dust has started to settle. But make no mistake, the aftermath of Jake Paul's final day of training camp before facing Anthony Joshua is already spinning the boxing world on its axis. Whatever happens next in the ring, this moment has already had its repercussions. Whether Jake wins, loses, or even gets knocked out in the first round, the legacy of this circus, this spectacle, will linger long after the last punch is thrown. Let's talk about reputations, because that's where the real mess starts. Jake Paul might not be the best boxer in the world, but if he somehow survives a full round with Anthony Joshua, or God forbid manages to pull off a win, everything changes. You don't just beat one of the hardest hitting men on the planet and walk away the same. You become a force. But here's the kicker. Even if Jake Paul loses, the money, the attention, and the brand will remain untouched. And that's the power of the spectacle. Jake Paul doesn't need to win this fight in the traditional sense. He just needs to stay relevant and keep the cameras rolling. It's just another chapter in his viral saga. The moment the fight is over, he's right back to doing what he does best: trolling, talking trash, and building up his next big thing. He knows how to stay in the spotlight no matter what. So let's talk about the fallout. If Jake Paul wins, he'll go from internet sensation to legitimate boxer. That's the dream scenario for him, right? He'll be able to point at everyone who doubted him and say, "Told you so." The gym trainers, the critics, the boxing purists who didn't think he belonged, they'll all have to eat their words. But the real magic happens if he loses, and here's why. Even if he loses, it'll be in front of millions. It'll be an event. People will still be talking about his brave effort for weeks. There's no way you can get into a fight with someone like Anthony Joshua without gaining massive recognition. Jake Paul may lose the fight, but he'll win the PR battle, and that, my friends, is worth more than any belt or trophy. Think about it. He's already built a career by breaking the rules. Whether it's the YouTube space or the boxing ring, Jake Paul thrives on defying expectations. And if he loses to Joshua, well, that's just another dramatic story he can sell. He can keep his followers hooked by promising redemption, comeback, or even a trilogy fight. Boxing is built on rematches and big paydays. And Jake knows exactly how to keep his audience chomping at the bit for more. And then there's Anthony Joshua. Let's be real. If he loses, this is not just a loss in the ring. This is a massive hit to his brand. Joshua has built a global empire, from sponsorships to his image as the calm, calculated heavyweight champion. But one loss to Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer with a fraction of his experience, would obliterate that image. He's fighting for his legacy, for his place at the top of the heavyweight ranks, and for his reputation in the eyes of the public. If Joshua loses, the narrative will be brutal. Fans won't just laugh at his defeat. Was his reign as the heavyweight king just a fluke? This isn't just a fight for Joshua. It's a fight to hold on to everything he's built over years. A loss to Jake Paul would undoubtedly lead to an avalanche of questions about his future in the sport. Would Joshua still be considered a contender? Or would his name just be another what could have been story, with Jake Paul's name forever etched in boxing history? As much as we'd like to see this fight unfold in the ring, the real drama is unfolding around it. The memes, the hot takes, the insults, they're not just about boxing. They're about how this fight represents the current state of sports entertainment. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua aren't just fighting for a title. They're fighting for control of the narrative for the future of combat sports. The memes, as expected, went wild. We've seen the comparisons. Jake Paul, the internet kid who won a few fights, up against a former heavyweight champion who's knocked out some of the best in the business. One meme had Joshua with a sad face, saying, "When you get in the ring with a YouTuber and realize you just signed up for a Netflix special." Another meme had Jake Paul in a superhero costume, claiming, "When you train for a few months and still have a better cardio game than Joshua." It's all jokes. But these jokes have real consequences. Every punch in this fight will be analyzed, dissected, and turned into content. This isn't just about the bell ringing. This is about creating content that keeps people watching. The boxing world has always been about big personalities. But now, more than ever, it's about how much attention you can generate. And that's where Jake Paul has cracked the code. Love him or hate him, the man knows how to get everyone talking. Even the most hardcore boxing fans can't help but watch and wonder, could Jake Paul really pull this off? Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, but Jake's not a real boxer. He's just a social media star, and I'm with you. But here's the thing, Jake Paul has real skills. He's been training hard, and we can't deny that he's shown more dedication to the sport than some guys with actual boxing experience. That's not to say he's going to go in there and dominate Joshua, but he's not some dude off the street trying to throw hands. Jake Paul's been in the ring. He's been sparring with the best. And he's been putting in work that, while untraditional, still deserves recognition. Traditional still deserves recognition. If Jake Paul loses this fight, he'll still win. He'll win the viral attention. He'll win the social media battle. He'll turn this loss into another chapter in his never-ending rise to fame. He'll be back on YouTube, making reaction videos to the fight. Probably with Joshua himself, talking about how he's learning and getting better. If there's one thing Jake Paul excels at, it's turning failure into fuel for his brand. This fight is just the beginning, no matter who wins. Because Jake Paul. He'll make sure the drama never ends. Smash that like button like it owes you money and refuses to pay up. Drop a comment below. Who do you think is winning this fight? Jake Paul with the shocker, or Joshua with a knockout? And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing here? Hit that subscribe button like it's your last chance to catch the biggest upset in boxing history. Stay tuned, because here at Punch Press, we're tracking every knockout, every scandal, and every viral moment that'll have the internet talking for days. This isn't just a fight. This is the fight of the century. And remember, no matter who wins, the real victory goes to the one who controls the narrative. Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua. It's anyone's game.